So the reason why I decided to make this a separate section is because I want to do something interesting now. So so far when we were working on the Ironman and the biggest question project, right? We sort of reduced the scale completely. But if you do that, it makes it feel as if the building is going to the back and coming to the front. That's not what I want. I want the building to grow, in I want the building to grow in alignment with the structure. And this is where I think I've already sort of made a mistake. Let's see. So so it's not going to be as perfect as I wanted because I wanted it to ideally what I should have done was, and maybe I can still do that. So let me explain. So I can actually isolate, where is this thing? So I can actually make, I can scale in a particular direction. Do you understand? So, but now because of the way this null is set up, it's going to scale on the direction of the null, which is not necessarily favoring the building. So this is what I'm going to do. Um, I'm going to duplicate. Let me see. Yeah, I'm going to duplicate this guy. Now these two. Let me just. I'm going to delete this one, right? But I'm just keeping it there for reference for now. What happened? What just happened? Oh, yeah. So I noticed I had squeezed my drawing and I had not restored it back to what it was supposed to be. So I'm going to duplicate this now, right? It's the little things, it's those little details, okay? So I'm going to turn these guys off. I'll save. In fact, sometimes it's safe to save multiple versions. Anyway, so this is what I want to do. So far, this null is these two objects are connected here. So what I want to do, I want to rework the direction of this null. But if I do it now, it will scatter the animation for these two guys, which I don't want to do. So I'm going to remove them from the null. So just click on this. So there are several ways you can null or unnull something. You can pull from this spine or this spiral and just connect it, or you can just click down. So now that I've disconnected it, here's what I want to do. I want to rotate the null to sort of face the direction so that I could do this. You will get it now. What's happening? You see what's happening? So now let me connect this guy back. So the reason why I kept this, let me first delete these two guys. So the reason why I kept this, you understand why I kept this now, because I needed it as reference, all right? So what's happening? Oh, actually, I don't need to keep it. So here's the beautiful thing that happened. Because I did not keyframe my rotation and I disconnected these objects, right? So when I just turned the rotation on it, all it did was rotate it. It didn't keyframe the rotation. But I think I may have, okay, probably it didn't scatter my animation as much as I thought it would. Yeah, it did scatter my animation as much as I thought it would. So I will just duplicate this for reference. But now I'm going to delete this too. So this is where I'm supposed to be. This is where I'm supposed to be. So now I can take him down a notch. Here, I can take her up a notch. Let me just watch this thing to see what exactly it's doing. Okay, it's totally fine. Okay, so this one is coming from where it's supposed to come. That's awesome. Okay, everything is working the way it should. So now here was what I was trying to do. Let me turn off all these other things so they're not in the way. Are you? Okay. So I can delete this one now. Awesome. Awesome. So now what I want to do with this scale, this is the interesting thing I want to do with the scale. So now I can also scale hue. Let me just do, yeah. So the interesting thing I want to do with the scale is that here I want to so another thing, so you notice, let me undo this. So you notice so far when time we scale, it sort of scales together. But now when I move only this part, it only scales here. So let's see what that feels like. I think I want to scale it some more. So if you want to, let me see. So you notice anytime you type, right, it also changes this number. But when I moved it alone, it only changed this number. So you could, right now, you see it's constraining proportion so that all dimensions are set to the same value. So I can disconnect it so that it gives me just this one. And then I'm not yet done. So here I want it to give me maybe 340. So I'm basically adding a little bit of squash and stretch, right? So let me just do fit. So I basically just added a little bit of squash and stretch. Awesome. So now I can turn these guys back on. So you see, I added a little bit of squash and stretch. Now that one is going to feel so much like something happened that was so immaculate and epic. Even though it was a very basic movement that was done. But yeah, let me come back. I'm just want to watch it one more time. Okay.